Lost Lonely Boys here on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits, heaven. It's 9:15 on the morning drive with the Flying Dutchman and Carrie, Chong. And with us here in the studio right now in the flesh, we have Ambassador of France to Singapore, Mr. Stefan Marchisio, and also Melisa Teo, who's a photographer and artist. And all this is because of Voila! It's a Singapore-France festival celebrating 60 years of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Welcome, Stefan, and welcome, Melisa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Mr. Ambassador, this year marks 60 years of diplomatic ties between France and Singapore. Beyond the official celebrations, how do you see cultural exchanges like something like Voila shaping the everyday relationships between the two communities?
Well, once again, thank you for having us this morning. It's a pleasure. As you said, it's a very specific year for Singapore and, of course, for the relationship between France and Singapore because of the 60-year anniversary. Of course, as you said, there will be official, political visits and so on and so forth. But we wanted also to, showcase the links between the people because, diplomacy, it's creating links, it's understanding each other. And of course, it's political, but it cannot be only political. It has also to be, people-to-people ties. Between France and Singapore, it's 60 years of friendship, of trust. So, it's not very difficult when you are the ambassador to Singapore, to be very honest. I feel very warmly welcome here.
Yeah.
I've been only arrived like 3 months ago now. But
wow.
Yeah, it's very recent.
Oh.
But of course, Voila Festival, it's been going on for almost more than 15 years now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not this year, but this year has to be special because of this anniversary. So we have like a lineup of 20 events. Maybe we will discuss that later, of course.
Yeah.
But very, very stunning, beautiful, and interesting events. Of course, Melisa, which is she's with us this morning. So of course tonight we will opening with her exhibition on Anderson Bridge. And we want it to be, a way to promote the friendship between the two countries.
Melisa, you are Singaporean but based in Paris for the last 8 years, right? And this is a very unique kind of an exhibition because it features photographs of both rivers, the Singapore River and the River Seine. And we want to talk about what drew you to these two rivers in particular.
Yeah, so because I live in Paris, so the Seine River is where I always go to. And it struck me that the Seine River is 777 kilometers long.
Okay.
So that was like a magical sign to me because 7 is the number of perfection.
Yes.
7 days in the week,
Yeah.
7 colors in the rainbow. So I was like, okay, I took that as a sign and I'm going to shoot the Seine River. And because Paris, it's new to me, and the changing light, the changing seasons was easy for me to photograph. When I came back to Singapore, I said to myself, why did I never shoot the Singapore River? Why didn't photograph my own country? So I started photographing both rivers. And this has been a very transformative journey for me because the familiar faces that I always took for granted in Singapore, when I re-look at them through the camera's lenses, they start looking different. And so I asked myself, is it me who has changed or is it them? So in doing this, I feel like my present has been shaped by my past, and my past is now being shaped by my present. So the rivers have brought that to me.
That's so interesting.
Wow.
We're going to continue this conversation
Yeah.
on Facebook. Make sure you join us on Facebook. It's going to turn out to be a great conversation.
The morning.
So, Melisa, I want to ask, why Anderson Bridge?
Oh, okay. First of all, it's situated at the mouth of the Singapore River,
Yes.
leading to the sea.
Yeah.
And the idea of the project is that despite all our differences, cultural, geographical, national, right? Like all rivers that eventually lead to the sea, we're all connected. Right? And also, it's a great bridge between the countries, and it's the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations. So that was the perfect spot. But also because I wanted to bring art outdoors, outside of museum walls, outside of gallery walls, so that everybody can have access to it for free.
Yeah.
Because art belongs to our daily lives. It's not something abstract that belongs in private collections. It's something that can change your life. And photography has changed my life profoundly, and I wanted to bring that out and to share it with everyone.
Yeah, so make it more accessible to everyone. So,
I think so.
your photographs are rainproof, weatherproof. I hope they are,
Yes,
right?
they are.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we've had some strange weather here.
Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, you mentioned a wide range of programs in the Voila Festival. Can you tell us more about what's going on?
Yeah, of course. So tonight we're launching the program with Melisa's exhibition on Anderson Bridge, and she didn't say it, but it's the first time that such an exhibition is happening on Anderson Bridge.
Oh, wow.
So it's an
Yeah.
open venue, but it's also the first time. So I mean, and we saw it together yesterday, and it's amazing. Of course, already started actually, but at the National Gallery you will find the City of Others, Asian artists in Paris. It's already happening, so you can go at the National Gallery and see the exhibition, which is quite stunning. Actually, it's the Paris time between the two world wars, so 1920s to 1940s. So that's Asian artists emigrating to Paris and somehow discovering Paris through their own eyes and rediscovering themselves, through Paris. And so you will see Paris at the time, of course, where it was showcased by these artists, but also the international exhibition at the time. So the Angkor temples, rebuilt in Paris. You see amazing photographs of that. Also French designers. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind exhibition. Melisa, we already mentioned that, of course. I want to raise at Alliance Française building. We will launch the ocean exhibition, which is dedicated to ocean and to the biodiversity. It's cultural, but it's also a way to raise awareness, on global issues and. We are living in a world where we need to take care of our planet. So it's also very important, and having that at the Alliance Française building, which is really a link between the two countries, it was very, very important for us to prepare that. Of course, we have Nicolas Damiens, another French photographer. We will also, he's taking picture of Singapore, working in Singapore, and then redesigning the pictures to give you some kind of a pop art, view of Singapore. So
this is happening at the Singapore Chinese Cultural Center.
Exactly,
right?
and it's amazing. And of course, I mean, you will see. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but you will have to see that. And we are doing something very special for 2 nights. Unfortunately, only 2 nights, but I mean, it will be Friday and Saturday night. It's Carmen Opera. So, I mean, at Victoria Theatre. So, I mean, the most performed in opera in the world, Carmen. And we are bringing 3 French opera singers to Singapore for that. And of course, it will be the Singaporean, artist on stage also. I mean, I'm really, really excited to see that in Singapore. I think it will be awesome.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there are some film screenings as
there
well.
are some film screening, and I want to and thank you for mentioning that, because we have actually free film screening in Garden by the Bay, and also jazz music in Botanic Gardens. So it's also important to have free exhibition, free events for all the Singaporeans.
If someone wanted to find out what the full program was, where would they go?
Well, only one place, our website, voila.sg. You will find everything, all the programs, how to book the tickets, of course, and of course, where you can be and where you have to be.
Right.
Voila actually starts tonight, and then it runs all the way till 8th of June, right?
Exactly.
So for the entire calendar of events, you can go to Voila, that's voilah.sg.
I like the idea of adding the H to make it
local. It's a French word, very used in English, but with the H, it makes it like Singlish, so it's it's very fun.
True.
Love it. Now, Melisa, your images actually touch on being connected and this passage of time. How does it feel living away from home, and just and trying to make a living? For anyone who's listening in right now, hoping to make that leap of faith and do something completely wild and different. Maybe I want to hear from you on that.
I think you need to follow your heart's voice. We are too often driven by reason, and we are afraid, and we can start making all kinds of excuses also to not live to our full potential. So we would say, okay, we have bills to pay, we have rent to pay, we have kids to raise, and then so we compromise all that's within us that has to be released. And I think so we should follow our heart's voice, because I think that is the voice of your destiny. And so
Wow.
just go for it. You have one life. Go for it.
Is that what you're going to be teaching when you deal with the kids? Because you're moving from the bridge to a huge shopping mall, right?
Yeah, at Vivo,
And
right?
you're going to be involving children.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I think there'll be children's art competition and coloring. The children will get to fill in their own colors in my photographs, and also an artist talk. So I'd like to share with my fellow Singaporeans from a very early age the importance of art, how it can transform their lives, and not just be driven by the 5 C's of the Singaporean dream, right? But actually to really take risks and to make creation a part of their existence. Yes.
Yeah. So there are 2 parts to your exhibition. First, of course, is the Anderson Bridge, right? And then Vivo City. Then you're giving a talk as well.
Yeah,
right.
At the National Library in Bras Basah, and also at the Harbourfront.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Aside from that, Mr. Ambassador, we often hear about strategic partnerships, right, between nations. From your perspective, what role does culture play in deepening those ties, beyond just policy and trade?
Yeah, beyond.
Yeah.
No, but of course, I mean, as I said, diplomacy is understanding each other as a whole. So it's political, it's trade, it's everything. It has to be culture. And I mean, when you are, friends, for us, culture is a big part of our history. And we are the most visited country in the world still. And, so attracting people to understanding French culture in France, but also abroad, it is very important. It's part of my job. I'm trying to do it, as intensely as I can, because once again, it is very, very important. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, is coming to Singapore.
Yeah.
Of course, he will have, political meetings, political talks, of course, but culture will be a part of his program because, he has to be involved. As the French president in this. And yes, once again, the ties that we can create between our 2 countries through culture, it is the best way to get influence, to understand each other and maybe to have more interest for France in Singapore, which actually is already the case and already happening. But if we can do more, it's always better.
So you mentioned that you've been here only 3 months now. And how are you liking Singapore?
Well, fortunately for me, I've been to Singapore before, but the place is of course very nice. I'm always amazed by the number of Singaporean people that I meet that speak perfect French. Melisa, she's a perfect example of that.
Somebody else I know of who
I do not speak French. I have a French accent, but I do not speak French.
Which is quite good.
It is not bad. Sometimes it just comes out. Sometimes.
It gets better,
It gets better as it goes on.
Yeah. Okay. So both of you, I think we want to know what's been the most surprising or a meaningful part of this collaboration so far. Should we start with Melisa?
I'm really moved by the embassy. Deep appreciation of the arts and also respect for the artists, and also their openness to collaboration. So I'm really pleased to be working with you on this project. Thank you very much. And thank you, La France, for being one of my 2 rivers.
Oh, one of my 2.
Wow. Okay, hang on. We're going to stop right here and actually go back on air and continue this conversation, okay? So join us. It's Elton John here on 1FM 91.3, and today on the Morning Drive, very, very happy to have us join here in the studio. It's Stefan and also Melisa. This is celebrating 60 years of diplomatic ties between France and Singapore. It's a festival that starts tonight, whole slew of activities called Voila.
And you can find out more at their website.
Yes, so Stefan is actually the ambassador of France to Singapore, and Melisa is a photographer. And so we were talking about the various activities and how you can actually get tickets, find out more. There's a website, so Voila, that's voilah.sg.
You can also book tickets at Cystic.
Via
Via
Cystic,
if you want. So we were talking about surprising or meaningful parts of this collaboration so far. And I love the way Melisa put it. one of my two rivers. Isn't it amazing? You spend 8 years in France, right?
Yeah.
And no matter what you say, when it comes out of your mouth, it just sounds beautiful.
Yes.
You know,
Must be
Singaporeans need to learn this. When it comes out of the mouth, it needs to sound beautiful.
Must be all that baguette. Fresh baguette. Okay, so what is the most meaningful or surprising thing, with this collaboration that you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To work with them, to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
this relationship of mutual trust and respect,
Yeah.
and their appreciation of the arts. They when they see a piece of work, they don't need endorsement from some famous critic to know if they like it or not. you know.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's really nice. And
Yes.
I
Mr. Ambassador, what
appreciate
about you?
It's very simple. I mean, I knew Melisa's work from before, but I've never met her. So, I mean, to me, meeting Melisa, I mean, she's the best ambassador for France, actually, that we have in Singapore. So, I think maybe we use her a little bit too much now. But I mean, maybe the trick will show at one point. But no, it was wonderful to meet her, and we work very well together. And once again, it's also for all the people in Singapore to go to Anderson Bridge and see by themselves. But I think it's amazing.
Melisa, I want to ask you something that's not connected to Voila. You're a photographer. And Singaporeans have their phones with them all the time. They take pictures of everything, from my slippers to my chicken rice to where I'm going. We photograph everything. Do people generally overthink their photographs? Or should we just shoot with a feeling?
Okay, for me, I like to follow my intuition because I see my camera as my third eye, the eye of intuition, honed by meditation. So I follow the light when I shoot. And I think you should take that shot, before you even have time to compose it. Because there is so much magic in reality itself, So, but when you start composing something, your own limited imagination comes in,
Right.
which will never be compared to the magic in reality.
Okay.
So I think it's nice to let your intuition tell you shoot now before you even start composing the shot.
So
Nice
go,
idea.
go with the feeling.
I'm going to tell my wife this now because she always says, you see, you put me in the wrong plane.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
make
say,
my arm look big.
Melisa said just shoot how I feel.
It's in that moment of spontaneity, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us here today, Ambassador of France to
Thank you.
Singapore, Mr. Stefan Marchisio.
Marquis.
And Melisa Teo, who is a photographer and artist from Singapore but based in Paris.
Let's give them that website again
Yes.
so they know where to go.
It's Voila, voilah.sg. This is celebrating 60 years of diplomatic ties between France and Singapore. It's a festival, whole lot of activities. Go check it out. Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you.